07 Commanders. My name's Commander Wyl Fearion, leader of the Vortex Squadron. Back at you with some more galactic vibes. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the dev blog that came out a couple days ago, which includes the Caspian Explorer information, some more, and also the on-foot changes. And I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Ready to rock, Commanders? I know I am. Alrighty then. So we are here. We're going to look at the dev blog. Now, I guess in lieu of a video, they decided, yeah, we're just going to make it a dev blog. And they posted that on their blog, which is in their news section, actually. So there it is. This came out the 25th of November. Obviously, that was a few days ago. And they are going to greet us. They got plenty to cover today. The deeper dive into the Sorgon Peterson's Caspian Explorer, to the latest intelligence from HIP 87621, and a first look at changes coming to on-foot combat. Thank you. So, discover new horizons, meet the Caspian Explorer. Now, before I even get into this topic, Commanders, I know that the name in the ship is called Explorer, but that doesn't mean that that's all it does, okay? I've looked at this thing. It can do combat, and possibly as good as the Anaconda. Now, it may not be able to replace every function of the Anaconda, but we also have the Panther Clipper, which is, by design, a cargo ship, but it has so many slots and things that you can do other things with it as well. So let's just get this right. Okay, I know that it's an Explorer, but it also can do combat. And we'll get into that more here in a minute. So, with cutting-edge modular capability, the Caspian Explorer is Sorgon Peterson's latest masterpiece. Discover new horizons. This large-class vessel is built for long-range expeditions and the perfect choice for those who chase the thrill of discovery. Combining its raw capability, refined engineering, it makes every journey across the black unforgettable. Well, I'm going to be honest, guys. Mostly I like to forget the journeys across the black because they are boring. But, all right. Now, if it is an explorer ship, if you use it for exploring, you don't need weapons. Okay? That's like a time-old thing. We've never needed the weapons on an explorer ship. You can bring weapons, but you don't necessarily need them unless you're going into a Thargoid area, right? So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind when I'm talking about most of this stuff, or when the dev team is talking about most of this stuff, they're not aiming it at the, the hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool, killer from Manila, old school elite player, okay? They're targeting a new audience. They're trying to get newer people to be interested. And that's probably why they gave it the shape they did. It's basically a kind of a mashup of Battlestar Galactica with Voyager, okay? And it's a nice-looking ship. And it doesn't even look like it's a large ship. It looks small, and it's actually shorter than the Anaconda. So we'll see what we can do with that. Now, my concern is not going to be about whether or not it can land on certain planets and blah, blah, blah. What I would like to see, and I just want to get this out of the way, is that the fighters, they should give us a scientific fighter so that we can scan plants and fauna and flora and monsters from the air, so we don't have to use either on foot or SRV. Okay, that's what I think they should do. That would give us an option, and it could be a new fighter or a variant of the current fighters that we have, to get out of the ship, fly over to stuff, and just scan it from the ship. That would be the best thing they could do to make this thing, like, literally, I think there might be 5 people that aren't going to buy it now, but after that, every single person will buy like 1 or 2. Okay? So that's my 2 cents. And I'm not an explorer, and I'm not an exobiologist, but I'm telling you, I've heard it enough times, and I kind of get it because I did that event last week, which is over now. We'll get into that more later. Building on the heritage of the Mandalay, the Caspian Explorer offers a commanding presence and panoramic cockpit. I don't know why I couldn't get that word out. Views which turn each descent into a spectacle. With its sleek landing profile and reinforced hull, whether you're gliding over icy ridges or threading through volcanic plains, the approaches have never been smoother. Wow, man. Those marketing guys. I hope they're yeah, they went to town on that description there. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, so one of the and they're probably going to talk about this in here, but the one thing that it does do is I know I've already seen a video where this thing can get at least a 502-year light range. Yes, everybody knows that it's not the only thing to exploring is the jump range, but it's what the entire player base wants, and you're never going to change that, okay? I've never been able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. If you're trying to convince the player base that they're wrong, that's a dumb idea. 502 light years. That's more than a carrier jump. Woo. That is going to open up some possibilities, Commanders. The Caspian Explorer introduces 3 new Mark II modules. Armor, which allows for steeper, faster gliding and seamless orbital approaches. Optimized thrusters tuned for near-planet flight. Ooh. Oh, that's good. The gravity wells. All right, I love that. And FSD Supercharged upgrade, which pushes the range further when scooping from a neutron star and white dwarfs. Well, most of us know you do not have friends. You do not tell friends to use white dwarfs because those things are dangerous as hell. Anyway, yeah, so that's nice too. Okay, I did the FSD Supercharged thing one time, and I got caught in a star and I blew up. Okay, so I've never really done it since then, but we'll see. Maybe I'll try it again someday. So with a full size 8 frameshift drive and a generous internal capacity, the ship is built to carry every tool an explorer could need. Well, yeah, if you give us those fighters, yeah, I'd agree with that. Give us those fighters that can scan the ground from the ship. I would be excited. All without sacrificing jump range or maneuverability. And while it was designed for discovery, the Caspian Explorer can adapt. Its layout supports long-range trading and mining, which means it has a good amount of cargo. And I don't know how much the cargo is yet. I haven't looked into that. I don't really use these ships for cargo. I use them for, I either use them for puddle jumpers or I use them for AX combat. So, and it will do AX combat, guaranteed. And with 7 hard points, 6 mediums, and 1 large, it's well equipped to handle unexpected encounters. Now, that's what makes it the fighting ship, okay? Because 6 mediums is what we used to use in AX with the Guardian Shard cannons. And if there's enough power and it doesn't explode when you shoot them, it might actually be pretty decent. I hear that it's a little light on something. It's light on power, maybe, or something like that. But, I still think it can be done. I mean, there's still engineering. You can engineer the ship to be weapons focused if you want. You can obviously, they gave us some. I don't know if they gave us they did give us some larger ones. The distributors and stuff like that that are focused on systems, which in an exploration ship, I'm assuming that everybody uses a shield for that. I mean, I would, just because you don't know, when you hit the ground, if there's a chance you're going to hit the ground, which this thing sounds like it's going to have less of a chance to hit the ground, you need a little cushion for the pushing, Commanders. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's see the technical specs, the hard points: 1 large, 6 mediums. That is perfect. For an AX ship, all you got to do is slap a large beam laser, long range, thermal vent, boom, and then 6 of whatever you want. The AX multi-cannons, the AX enhanced multi-cannons. This thing will shred. The convergence is pretty good on this one, as far as I can tell. And so it's gonna be a beast. I'm just saying, it's gonna be able to fight. Plus all the new ships, every single one of them, even the Mandalay. We've done AX fight combat, and the Mandalay also, they're tough. Like, they're tougher. So even a Mandalay's tough. Like, it's not the best ship because the hard points are too small, but other than that, Mandalay does great AX stuff, especially in groups. I wouldn't solo in it, but I would definitely do that. So the internals, the size 8 power plant. That's a big power plant. Maybe it's the thrusters. A size 7 thruster. Yeah, I mean, I can live with that. Size 8 SFD. Yeah, that's a big sucker. That's because it's the Mark II. So that's the biggest SFD drive ever. size 5 life support, size 7 power distributor. This is one where you could probably use the pre-engineers if you have them from a couple events back, and you could probably put a 6 in there and have it, because it's double engineered, might actually work better for you. You get a bigger jump range out of it. Obviously, there's ways to lighten the ship up so that it can go further, but I mean, that's not a concern for every single person. But if you want, you're just, basic idea is that if you don't need power for weapons, then you can always lower this down. Size 8 sensors, which is, I guess, okay. I don't know why they needed a size 8 sensor. I don't know what the hell you're scanning. Is it going to scan further, farther, faster? I don't know. The size 7 fuel tank was a huge fuel tank. Now, I've heard that the fuel scooping is a little bit slow on this thing. That's not to say they won't adjust it. They might. I mean, if there's enough pushback from the exploration community, they'll listen. I personally don't use fuel scoops, so I don't know why that's a big deal, but I use my fleet carrier for everything. If I go exploring, maybe someday I'll do that. And then I'll complain. But I'm not going to complain right now. It's better than any other ship I got for exploration. So the optional internals, 3 times size 1, which is great because that means you can put your auto dock and your scanner, your planet scanning, which we just got a new module for that not too long ago. And you can put your Super Cruise Assist, which people like to do to be able to land or, get in quicker into places. That is a great addition. I love that because I hate giving up a slot 2 for something that I could use for like cargo or something else more important. So there's a 1 size 2, a 1 size 3, there's 1 size 2, 1 size 3, 2x size 4s. Okay. 4 times size 5, 2 times size 6, and 1 times size 7. So obviously you can put a lot of different stuff on here. I know it does accept fighters. It does accept ground. And like I said, if they just had the fighter, if they gave us a fighter that let us scan stuff, man, that would be the cat's meow. The cat's meow. We are pleased to confirm that the Caspian Explorer will be available via ARC's early access on December 2nd. These guys, they sound like, they remind me of, they sound like the Apple keynote. I think they've been copying the Apple keynote guy, and what's his name? I can't even remember. But never, it's neither here nor there. They're really trying. I love it. And again, guys, this is for new people. It's not for us. Okay, we already know this is just a bunch of hype. We already know that. New people, they need hype. They get hype. They get excited. They want to buy stuff. That's all this is about, okay? All right, so on foot, combat, and weapon rebalancing. Now, this is an interesting thing. I've never been into the on foot stuff. I never did it. I never cared about it. Still don't really, but I'm hoping that maybe this will help me see more clearly. I don't like a bunch of confusion. I don't like to have to chase ammo all the time. I don't like to have to switch weapons between shielded, shields and no shields and all that. That's crazy talk. Okay, that's insanity. I don't care, none of that. So the flight on ground is about to, the fight, sorry, I thought I said flight. The fight on the ground is about to feel smarter, sharper, and more responsive. That is great because that was one thing that turned me off immediately, was that these guys are like really dense. Like they've been out in space too long and they're doing way too much onion head, and you shoot them in the face and they're just like, oh, wow, gee, what was that? No. Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. Now, I don't want them to be like ludicrously hard to kill, but I do like it if they at least move around a little bit. Now, I played Cyberpunk 2077. Those guys were real. They tried to flank you. They would try to flush you out. They would come after you. They would search for you. That was better stuff. The team has been reworking on-foot combat to make it more dynamic and satisfying. Here's what we are changing. Weapon adjustments. All weapons have faster stow and draw times. Plasma weapons have increased projectile velocity. Select weapons, that's good. I think that plasma fired way too slow. Select weapons have had ammo clip size, yay. Damage values adjusted to align with the new balance changes. Thank baby Jesus That's one thing that just I do not like chasing ammo all the time unless it's there, if it's unlimited, that you can get it, that's fine. But so many games just give up on the whole load and ammo thing, right? So, because that's one thing that sucks. You're trying to kill somebody and you run out of bullets. That makes your life miserable. Damage type interactions have been reworked. Lasers now deal more damage to health. Kinetic weapons deal more damage to shields. Previous cross type bonuses have been reduced. So this is nice because if you want to still switch the weapons back and forth and feel like an idiot, whatever, that's fine. But you don't have to because it's gonna be easier to kill stuff with one weapon instead of having to go back and forth and back and forth. That stuff that's annoying. That's almost like the pips. When you have to change the pips constantly over and over and over. That sucks. This is the same kind of thing for ground. Previous cross type bonuses have been reduced. Now I don't know what the hell that is. There's a little picture of a guy shooting another guy. Nice. Okay. I like that weapon, by the way. That's one of my faves. I don't even know what it does. I just like it. Yeah, all right. Smarter AI. Enemy AI will make better decisions about taking cover and their positioning. Enemy AI will move with greater urgency and when required and can also advance more aggressively to flush players out. Those are beautiful. Those are beautiful. I love them. I'm interested. Okay, you got me on the hook, FDev. Now, just keep me on the hook, all right? Don't mess this up. These updates are part of our long-term plan to bring on-foot and space gameplay together, creating a more cohesive experience for commanders on all fronts from December 2nd. So this is great. Okay, now, I know, because most people expect that the system's never done. All year long, they have been struggling. They put out a new system, and then they had to work on it from 6 to 9 months to get it to work right. Okay, at some point, they got it to work right. Now, would I love it if they would hire a whole gaggle of people to come work on this game again? Absolutely. But if they do, they're going to start charging us for more stuff. So just keep that in mind, commanders. So now, all right, so now we're going to switch over to HIP 87621. The mystery surrounding HIP 7621 has gripped the galaxy since August when Terry Torres' trail of beacons led commanders to the system, where there had been whispers of a secret hidden here for decades by the consortium. Well, man, they had decades. They could have done something with it by now. Okay, so, and I'll tell you what, this area is beautiful. I've actually, the Vortex Squadron and the Vortex Continuum have colonized a good chunk of this area. And yeah, we planned on moving in here because we kind of had the feeling it was going to be a war of some sort. Whether it was, it ends up that it's going to be a war with ourselves, but that's fine. Not with us, but with other humans, which I'm not a fan of, but in any event. Speculation has grown in recent months, and the powers have been building an enclave of systems around HIP 87621, signaling high interest in something. However, no direct moves have been made yet, but the tension is undeniable. So yeah, don't get mad at their storytelling, guys. They're trying, okay? I mean, this is just crazy hype, but who cares? It's fun. You know what I'm saying? Get over yourselves, some of you. All right, so there's the forest. Some people say that's not a forest. I say they're crazy. That is a forest. I know what a forest looks like. This ain't my first rodeo. Leave Commander Exo alone. I heard him saying somebody told him it wasn't a forest. Blah blah blah. I'm like, actually, don't you love those commanders? Actually, it's blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. All right, so 2 weeks ago, mounting pressure forced the October Consortium to open the system, where commanders then uncovered a new species of flora, Radicoida unica, whatever. 1 week later, leaked Galnet reports alluded to its unique biochemical applications and suggested the power's interest is far from over. I don't know. I mean, I can't figure out what it is. Is it Schedule 1 or is it Thargoids 2.0? I don't know. Or dinosaurs. I'm down with dinosaurs. They've got dinosaurs all over the damn place. They could tune them up a little bit, make them look a little weird, and put them in this game. Okay. Over the past 2 weeks, more than 25,000 participants. I hate when they say commanders because that does not mean there are 25,000 separate commanders. A lot of the older commanders have several accounts. 2 to 20. Okay, there's a lot. All right, and for a free spacesuit, yeah, they came out of the woodwork. Damn right they did. Have sampled this new discovery, feeding a torrent of data into the hands of those who stand to gain the most. With just 2 days left, sampling initiative, which is over now, by the way. The scene is set for something bigger. Keep an eye on Galnet and our special social channels for the latest updates. I mean, okay, yeah, it was really simple, but it was basically to test something. So it's something. It's definitely they always give us these things, but they're really testing something, and we'll find out more about that on Saturday. We have a live stream Saturday. And sometimes it's a pre-recorded, but just depends on my mood that week. But we talk on Saturdays on the Going in Hot podcast, where I will talk more about that war and what I think it's going to mean for things going forward. The team is hard at work on new content and features. We couldn't be more excited what's coming up in the new year. We'll be back with the next developer log video in February, which will go more into detail about what's to come. Okay. So that's all for this transmission. So guys, that's basically where we're at. Okay. A lot of these changes sound really good. Like I said, if they give us a way to have a fighter ship that is considered a exobiology ship, that you don't have to worry so much about parking that big sucker all over everywhere. I mean, honestly, it's probably great, but I know they had to turn around. They have to turn around the SRV launcher because it's facing the wrong way. But outside of that, I haven't heard a lot really bad. So I'm pretty excited for this. I think it's just going to offer us new ways to play the game. It's not necessarily going to introduce something groundbreaking or anything like that. But hey, look, I am all about them going back and fixing some of this stuff, especially for Odyssey, because Odyssey was shameful when it was released. I'm just going to be honest. It was shameful. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. And, we lost the console players. We lost everything. So, and basically everybody lost their will to play for several years. So now they're trying to make it, more palatable. And they are making it more palatable and accessible for new players. So keep that in mind, guys. Not everything that they put in here is for you. All right? It's not. In any event, I will see you guys Saturday, and I will talk to you all next time.